It's good to have you with us. Listen, I'm here in Windsor, in the Windsor Town Green, and we're at the Charlie Brown Christmas Grove. Now, I'm going to tell you a lot more about that later in the show, but let me tell you what's coming up in the show and why we're here. And maybe we should start with that. We're here because some people don't get to come here. Some people aren't able to come out. Some of us are not where the holiday lighting is vigorous. And sometimes we just want to see what it's like somewhere else. So we've done this every year in an informal way. And this year we wanted to do something really special and bring the holiday decoration and the holiday spirit to any people that we can reach. So in doing that, we're going to visit Austin, Texas later. Well, Georgetown, Texas, and we'll talk to Wes Lowe about the town square there, the courthouse square, and some of the community around Georgetown. We're also going to visit Napa, California, and we'll talk with filmmaker Gus Guillen. We're going to talk about holiday family shenanigans and what families do when the whole darn family is family of filmmakers. We're also going to hear some music from Dan Frechette. We'll tell a little bit of his story this year and how Dan's resilience brought out 2 albums since the summertime fires ran people out of their homes in Dan's community. And we also are going to take you on a tour of some of these Christmas lights, not only here in the Windsor Town Green, but also in the towns of Santa Rosa and Rohnert Park. And we'll talk a little bit about what celebrations mean to us. So we're going to be here for a little while. While you're watching and enjoying the music and the stories, take that link and share it with somebody. See if you can get them in here to join with us in the holiday spirit, okay? So let me start by telling you a little bit about this place we're in. This is the Windsor Town Green, and it's the center in Windsor, California. In the summertime, these lawns are filled with people and picnics and wine, and we're listening to music. And this year, for the festival, the Charlie Brown Christmas Grove Festival, we had to give up on the falling snow onto the trees for obvious reasons, but we still have a beautiful display of expression and celebration. And that's what inspires me about all of this. When I see what people do to express themselves for the holiday season, to show their exuberance and their hope for what the coming year will bring, I can't help but want to share that. So in this grove, we've seen trees decorated by 200 groups of students and local businesses and families and community organizations. And the diversity of all these trees is amazing. You can tell that they were not all designed by one designer. Can I just turn a little bit this way and kind of get a little look at what some of the other visions are here? You'll get to see a lot about this in a little while because we're going to run a clip for you. We call it the backstory. Okay, I'm going to come back over here. Oh, I'm going to go farther over here. Yeah. It's okay for me to walk backwards? All right, good. Thank you. And by the way, thanks, Kristen, for being my ever faithful and steadiest camera anywhere. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to visit with some folks during the rest of this session. And we're going to take you to some more places where lights and decorations are up. Right now, Cal, what I'd like to do is I'd like to set us up so we can take a look at the little film we made called Backstory. So I'll shut up, and in a moment, you'll be seeing the story. It's a theory I have that you'll be seeing the story.
At first, you were a little over.
Okay, we have like 6 minutes, almost.
I've been thinking about you. Are you thinking about me? The change we need to make together, the change we wanna see. With our sister on the street, with no shoes upon her each other from a different mother. She's the same as you and me. It's cold outside, I need a place to start. All the darkest all as one, we can make it all okay. There's pollution on our streets, in our minds and how we used to be. From the mountains to the oceans, and what we drink and eat. Watch the news on your TV, find out who's your enemy. They'll tell you where and what to buy, and more money's all you need. It's cold outside, I need a place to start. Always talking for the bright day. All as one, we can make it all okay. Had a dream of us in three, but the weather too sweet. All is one and one for all. No more wars or enemies. No more trash upon our streets. Nights are free of his story. Clean rivers flow into our oceans. Only use them what we need. It's cold outside. My neighbor, the place to start. Always darkest before that day. All is one, we can make it all okay. Look inside your heart. Love each other, it's not that hard. Take the path to more light. All is one, we can make it all alright. All is one, we can make it all alright. I've been thinking about you. Are you thinking about me? And when we make this change together, all is one that we will be. Don't wanna believe what I see on the live stream, what they sell me on the TV. It's haunting. But if you let down your gun, you can feel the winter warming sun through the window, and the soft glow of mother turning. Dream, dream, imagining you and me in the same dream. If we open our hearts, well, we're making a start to remember the one part of every soul beneath their guard. So if you let down your gun, then at least we have begun to recondition. If we listen to our Father's yearning. Dream, dream, imagining you and me in the same.
Yeah. Oh,
And
hey,
you're up.
oops, wrong camera. Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah, so we are in the same dream, you and me. Thanks, Cal. And for everyone, he's the man, the legend. They call him DJ Pineapple, or just the Pineapple. Some of them call him DJ Ono, but he don't like it when they call him that. Thanks,
Oh,
Cal,
that
for,
should be
for
tasty.
bringing the show together.
Hey, no problem. Happy
All
holidays,
right,
guys.
all right, yeah. So let's see if I can get the camera to come back around. Camera back on me. Camera back on me. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, 1 sec. I'm just gonna focus on this little thing. I'll probably regret this in a few moments because we'll want it back the other way, you know. So anyway, that was beautiful music. I am so enchanted by that lady's voice. And you saw the music credits. Come on now. Uh-oh. We are. Hey, Cal, bail me here. Am I still with you there?
You most certainly are, sir.
Okay, good.
Howdy,
I'll go with. Hey, so we this part of the expedition, we're relocating ourselves to some of the other locations you saw in the roll up, and I right now I think I should have just left the camera pointing where.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Looks like we just had to get the camera turned around, but we'd like to thank you very much for joining our stream here. We've got a lot of exciting guests and a lot of really neat stuff to show you. You know, once Mr. V gets back on. But other than that, hope everyone had a really great week. You know, hopefully the weather's not turning in too bad for you. I understand on the East Coast there's, you know, snow and kind of terrible weather coming, but you guys are strong and you'll weather through, so to speak. Out here on the west side, we're getting some rain, as you could tell, and I guess also out in Texas. So that's gonna be fun. But hopefully, you guys get the chance to go out, get to see some of them beautiful lights still up while you still can, and you know, hopefully, with everything that's been going on, we can just ring out that year and bring in something awesome. And speaking of something awesome, let's bring our host back on.
Thank you, and thanks for that intro. Hey, Wes, you missed this amazing introduction I just did for you while I was like totally on mute. So I'll just say you're great, and I'm glad you're here. I want to talk with you about the square a little bit. So you're going to start us out on this vision quest at the museum in the corner of the courthouse square. Is that right?
That's right. We're right here in front of the
Who is that?
Williamson County Museum. This is Robert McAlpin Williamson. He is the namesake for Williamson County. He was also he was a veteran of this Battle of San Jacinto. If any of you non-Texans know anything about that, but more importantly,
Yeah.
he was known as Three-Legged Willie. I don't know if you can see this. He had from birth he had a birth defect and he used a peg leg for all of his life. But we are here on the courthouse square in Williamson County. This square is kind of a symbol and a resource for a community. History happened here, but a lot of days not much happened here, and the changes just in the last 10 years that I've been here have been tremendous. We moved from just in the last 10 years from a largely agricultural center to a retirement and suburban center. And at its center, no matter what is going on or what is going on, the courthouse is its kind of soul. It was,
So some of the people that might see this might not be quite familiar with where you are. So you're in Georgetown proper, aren't you?
We're in Georgetown.
But that's really Austin, isn't it?
During the day, we're just north. Our bordering county is Travis County, which contains Austin, which bills itself as the live music capital of the world. We kind of like to think of ourselves as the live music annex of the world, because we got a thriving live music scene here, and most of that goes on out here on the square.
Well, we're going to talk some more about that. Now, the square, I've seen this before. It's kind of picturesque. Are you taking us over to look at some of the shops?
Yes, in a minute I will move from here and we'll move to the more,
Hey,
I guess, business area of the square, where
is it
one
raining
of
there
your
too?
favorite places. What?
Is it raining there too?
Yes, it stopped now, but it was raining up until like right before we went on the air. So
You're a trooper, man. You're a
hey,
trooper.
if it had only been like the night before last, it would have been 60 and it's clear. But now I'm having to do my best to maintain a steady shot here.
I know what you mean.
So,
Well, don't worry too much about that. If you have to point it down and go through a puddle, we'll get you some cover. But what I was going to say is, yeah, we lucked out exactly the same way. Over here, we went out to do the tech checks and get some of that footage that we showed in the B-roll, and it was so beautiful. And it didn't even occur to me that it would change on us like this. So that's how it goes. But you know what? Holiday times. No, I wanted to talk about the role of a town square and how sometimes it can bring a community together. We have a town square in front of the historic courthouse in Santa Rosa, and we just came from Windsor. You're in Georgetown. What can you say about how the town square pulls your community together?
I mean, it's like I said, despite being somewhat more urban, it's still the center for. This is the site of much of our Red Poppy Fest. We're known as the Red Poppy capital of Texas. We have a Poppy Fest here in the spring, when pandemic conditions aren't around, obviously. There's markets days like right over over that way. There's market days on first Fridays and Saturdays of the month. There's just sometimes impromptu musicians will take up their space on the corner and play music for the passersby on Friday evenings in particular.
Hey, so you brought up something that I want to talk about on this. So let's talk about that while you get us over to the toy store, okay?
Right.
One of the things that we've found to be a great participation in community here under the conditions we have currently is our farmers market. And I'm just so pleased where we live. We have those beautiful farmers markets. We have two actually in different parts of town, and they each have a different kind of character. And it really amazes me.
On Facebook. Yes.
Oh yeah, you've seen the Facebook, the farmers market bounty. Well, I mean, it is a great expression of community that we can still do well, right? We can distance and mask up at the farmers market pretty well, and I've begun to notice people doing creative things to ply their business. In fact, we're talking to some people about bringing haircuts to the farmers market and just have people, on Saturday have their appointment while they pick up some rutabagas or something.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit more about, actually, I'm going to tell a story right now because I don't see the toy store coming yet. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit.
I've got to navigate traffic.
Okay, good. So you do that while I tell this story, because what I wanted to tell you about is one of the expressions of community we find in Santa Rosa. A young lady named Katie Hilario began when she was a teenager to make pies, and she got her friend's big kitchen and coerced her family. I mean, she recruited her family into helping her make a bunch of pies. They sold them to raise money for the Redwood Empire Food Bank. And now she's been doing this for a long time. She has done it for 10 years, and she's made some 30, I wrote it down. How many pies? You remember?
350 this year.
350 pies this year. And what about the total number? You remember that big number? It's written down for us. They're all shown right in that photograph. So Katie does this. And the thing is that even people who don't like pumpkin pies, they can still finance a pie, and Katie will take it to a firefighter or a first responder. In fact, she each year delivers a lot of the pies herself personally. And so she's just an amazing young lady, a great story of community out of our place. And I think you find those everywhere. So we wanted to tell you about that one.
Okay, I'm moving now
Hey,
to the far
hey,
end of the square where I was.
okay.
And
Okay. Well, I tell you what. Why don't you tell us the story of the
well, I was
setup
going to
as you
tell you
make
about
your way over there?
I
Okay.
was going to tell you about all things kids here, which is like coming into view now. They did a lot of creative things to keep things going.
Uh huh.
They did appointment shopping. They tried all they moved their stuff out on the sidewalk at one point.
Uh
They
huh.
tried all kinds of things, and then
That's
next
wonderful.
door to them, again with the music scene, Ken's Guitars, a real
Oh,
mainstay on the square here.
yeah. Hey, that's starting to look familiar to me now.
Yeah, we're getting to one of your favorite places here on the square. Of
Get up
course,
close to that, man. Get up
here's
close to that. Gus,
here's
Cal, and I are
the
getting.
here's another important place on the square, the home of the local newspaper, Williamson County Sun. A
Oh,
really
nice.
good weekly newspaper here for the folks in Williamson County. And
Hmm.
then, of course, the place I know you're waiting for me to get to eventually. You and Cal both, I guess, evidently. Mikey V's Hot
Yeah.
Sauce.
Hey, we have punch cards for that place, man. Oh, look.
There you go.
Cal has his fondest fan fiction about
Yeah.
Mikey V's. Yeah, you introduced me to Mikey V's when we came to visit, and we've been sending out orders and having them ship the stuff over to us. There's some stuff there you can't get anywhere else. Um, I think
Yeah.
Cal and I both really like Crack of Dawn, and I have some other fine ones too. I just like the sauce.
Right. Okay. There's some more of the square. Like I said, it's an active. A lot of towns in Texas, they have a whole courthouse, but not a lot goes on around it. These places are
Yeah.
really active businesses. Divine Treasure. There's more. 600 Degrees Pizza. Get a pizza and a beer.
Huh?
And some of the interesting things. Another interesting thing I like about the square, and I think I've told you about it. And I'm sure this wasn't here when you were here because all of these art installations rotate. So here's one
Oh yes. Hmm.
of an egret, I'm assuming, and you'll
Hmm.
see various things for a month or so, and then those will change out. So that's another
Oh,
aspect of that. I love.
is that where is? Oh no, you're on the square. I was thinking there was a place where we visited a sort of a mock graveyard during the Halloween season, but that's
Oh,
not where we are now.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was that's up the hill, Jailhouse Hill, ironically,
Yeah,
for
that was the old jailhouse. That's right.
for
That's right.
jailhouse. Yeah,
Okay, now I know you're taking
your
us to
dad
one
might
more
know about
place.
that jailhouse.
Yeah, I know he spent some time there. That's true. And for the benefit of those who still like me, he lived there. He wasn't a resident
He wasn't incarcerated
of
there.
duress. Yeah,
His grandfather actually was running the place. So
yeah. It's there's a lot of that story we still have to
yeah,
mine.
yeah,
But now I
that's
know you're taking us to one last stop. So
one
I want to
last
have you
stop,
talk to us,
and
tell us
I
the
could go
story
a little
about it
faster.
as
Like
you're
I
going
said, if
there.
it had been warmer, I would be.
Yeah,
You can see some of the beautiful lights here. These go up,
yeah,
right after
totally.
Thanksgiving, and
Okay. Now,
but this is another
yeah,
like
so get us to
anchor
that story. Yeah, go ahead.
of the lights. This is kind of a recent addition, really, to the square. I think the merchants got together and funded all these lighting projects, and here we are now where I really wanted to show up. And you can see a gentleman there now playing his music. I didn't know exactly what the state of live
Yeah,
music was going to be because it's like not it's not a large crowd. I'm needless to say,
right. But somebody's playing. That's great. So
right?
tell me
Like
about the
that's cool.
place.
And then I don't know. You can't really see from here, but upstairs is another key communication part of Georgetown. It's the KGTN radio, our low power
Look
FM
out, boss! Oh, sorry. I
station.
couldn't help it. You didn't
So
go out in the
anyway,
street to get that shot, did you?
this
Hey, we
like I
do
said,
where we go where we got to go. So tell me
this
tell
is
me a
like
bit more
this.
about this. You guys
Oh,
have
this
a
is
really
this
great
is
music. Yeah, go ahead.
all of these all these places are built in historical buildings, and it's kind of a challenge to
Yeah.
turn them into places that work for today's businesses, particularly one like Roots, where it's just a small cafe and mostly it's big draw is live music. Like I said, we've got somebody in playing now, but
Of course.
I love this. I love this part about Georgetown. It really does. It's a very, very, very vibrant place, and it's downtown. They treasure their downtown, and I treasure that.
Well, I think we can really see that, and I really appreciate you sharing that with us, because it's one of the things I took away from being shown around there by you. And I'm glad you left us here, because I want to talk about what I've seen a lot of artists doing in the conditions we have, and showing their hope and expression for the future. So, and this will set us up, Cal, to go to that special treat from Dan Frechette. So, I've been seeing musicians first turn to streaming, which, it seems endemic. We're probably, up against, I don't know who we're up against tonight, but musicians discovered for themselves that streaming allows them to reach and touch an audience that they don't have to travel for. And it actually can expand their reach in certain cases. Most musicians I know still want to get with, get on the tour and get with the people. And it's hard for the show to be great if you can't feel the people right with you. But there are other ways to get to that. And musicians are finding it now. And most importantly, they can be seen by their fan in Dublin, even though they live in Austin, like 4 times in a month. And it used to be maybe twice in a year, if we're real lucky, right? And I have musician friends like that all over. Rebecca Loby from Austin barely comes out here, maybe twice a year if we get real lucky. Mark Arelli from New England comes out maybe. Well, he should come out a little more now, because he's been winning some festivals out here. And one of the musicians that is adapting to the conditions we're in is Dan Frechette. Now, Dan is a Canadian musician, and he lives now with his wife, his California wife, in Bonnie Doon, California. And right before the fires of the summer, the homes in his community were all threatened. Dan was, at that time, mastering his next upcoming record. It was a collection of songs that he'd had for a very long time. He'd had them over 10 years. And they'd been seasoned in, and this was his first time to record any of them. And he was mastering this album, and the fire was coming. And he had one last track he had to get fully mastered, and he could rap. And it was the day before they were actually told, you must now pick up and leave. All that time before, we still knew that might happen, because the fire doesn't come on you fast. You get days of knowing, we might be having to evacuate. I mean, I give it credit for giving us time. It gave Dan time, and he was able to walk away from his studio in Bonnie Doon with the masters, and wasn't able to go back to that home for weeks and weeks, but he had enough to release the album, and he did. And that was back in the summer and up to around October. He just released another album. So if the man can't tour, I guess he's just going to make some records. So, Cal, we're going to go into a piece from Dan Frechette, and if Wes is still around, we can all talk about this piece when we get to the other side of it. My mic is muted.
Catch you tomorrow when I wake up, and I'll be on my way. I'm gonna travel to the end of the world, where everyone feels the same. When I'm leaving, please don't call my name. Tell me I'm not to go away, 'cause I don't want to feel afraid going out on my own again. I'm going the song and dance man breaks the silence with the song. I'm going where the laughter and smiles, nowhere to belong. When I'm leaving, please don't call my name. Tell me I am not to go away, 'cause I don't want to feel afraid going out on my again. Catch you tomorrow when I'm going, leaving your world behind. But I'll remember how you helped me kick my shoes off for a while. When I'm leaving, won't you call my name? Tell me you will see me on my way, 'cause I don't want to feel ashamed going out on my own, going out on my own, going out on my own again.
Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, just trying to get a little light there on the situation. Hey, I really love that piece, and he just released that. It's from his current new album. So my suggestion to any of you who see this, or in posterity who see this, get yourself over to Bandcamp and take a look at some of Dan's other work. He is a quite prolific songwriter, and I think you'll find something you like. 3-song challenge, okay? Go to Bandcamp, listen to 3 of his songs, and if you don't like any of them, you can tell a friend about one of them, because they will. I guarantee it. It's the deal, right? Hey, so there's something that I really liked about that video account. It's not just that it's simple and it features the song and it features Dan, but Dan not only performs the song for you, he actually shows you the composition. You saw his setup. He uses that setup where the neck of the guitar is at the focal point. It's actually pretty artistic. It's very simple, quite effective. Didn't need a lot of special equipment. And if you want to know how to play his song, he just showed you. I love it. All right, that's all I really have to say about that. I'm supposed to tell you one more thing about Dan and his music. No, I told you his Bonnie Doon story. So Dan helped us out earlier this year at the benefit show, back when we were talking to people about how kind of important it was to vote. And, you know, he hasn't been able to tour, but he's reaching people, and I hope he reaches some of you who get to share our holiday cheer together. Okay, now I want to introduce you to someone who's going to join us for this. And we're going to talk a little bit about the family in Christmas. Really, Gus, we're going to talk about your family in Christmas. So we're going to bring you in and put you on the hot spot here. I mean, this is an idea I had anyway. We were kicking around the office, thought we might try it. Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, Vincent, can you hear me?
Yeah, no, I hear you. All of your mute switches have been vanquished.
Oh, exactly. When you have kids, you got to make sure not only is the screen muted, but also your microphone to your headset is muted too.
Yeah, I like belts and suspenders, and when it comes to mute, I'll go for 3 layers if I can get it. It takes you longer to get back in, and if you get really excited about something on the call, this is something we've all learned in the workplace this year, right? You're really excited, and you're like, "Oh, I have to fight my way through these mute switches."
Oh,
So,
it's funny because it's like, I mean, nowadays with the whole everybody's on Zoom and everyone's, muted and stuff like that. Over at my wife's job, they gave them a cup and it had it said muted or you're on mute, and it had the whole, slash around the microphone. And it was just, it was like the
people can hold
perfect
the
gift.
cup up. They like hold up the cup when you're muted so that oh, they're doing the cup at me again. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it is cliche. I mean, in the work I do, that's the normal thing we've always had. But now everyone got to experience it. Our kids, our coworkers, everybody. So you get the whole mute switch thing going. But we didn't come to talk about office culture. Definitely not talk about that. I wanted to talk with you about the holidays and family. Did you guys decorate it all this year?
Oh, of course. We decorated our patio. We decorated, we had a Christmas tree. We did decorations in the home.
Huh?
I won't tell you exactly when we started decorating with this whole, distance learning and all this other stuff, but we got it all done
Kristen
in
wants
time
to
to
know if you
enjoy it.
Kristen wants to know if you put a mask on the faithful butler.
Butler? No, actually, he went back to storage after Halloween. But the guy in the patio, the Leatherface guy, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to put him into his, Santa gear.
You do not decorate Leatherface, and you want to talk to me. I'm telling you, this is a Christmas decorations show. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
But you know what,
Yeah.
though? We did
What?
decorate our John Cena in a Santa outfit. So there you go.
Okay. All right, I'll go with that. You're off the hook again. You're back on the A list. Okay, so I was going to ask you, do you guys have been sort of making a family show together? Pretty much everybody in your family now is sort of a proto filmmaker or better, right? Tell me about that project.
Yeah, so basically, with the whole shelter in place, we haven't been able to make any films, so we've kind of transitioned into making a podcast. So originally, it started out with me and my wife Melissa, where we just watched horror films, and it was mainly the big budget films that we watched. As her schedule was crazy, I decided to make a couple of little episodes, and then all of a sudden, my daughter Katie showed an interest and wanted to get behind the microphone as well. So I was able to introduce her into the show and into how to make a podcast. So she's been kind of one of my little faithfuls there, and I was able to get. It might sound weird, my son Austin to do a couple of shows because he was kind of shy getting behind the microphone, but being in front of the camera, he's got no problem. He had no problem being in front of a crowd to entertain. It was just thinking that behind the microphone, maybe because no one's watching him.
That is odd because he's pretty gregarious and he's no stranger to the production cycle. So, but I'm glad to hear of all of you are finding something to do with being together as family. And I got to say that really, I know for a lot of people it has been a challenge and it's introduced unexpected challenges, but also it's given us a lot of time to talk with each other. And this is something Wes said to me yesterday too. When the family has more time to talk, because we're together, new things emerge. So it's pretty cool. So I wanted to ask you about Two Brothers. Are you gonna Two Brother again?
The plan is hopefully to bring that back. I'm kind of looking into getting, kind of keeping the same theme where it's, two guys, talking about, wrestling, and possibly, having it change where it's myself and someone else talking about it, where we just have, like the two bros in there. So it's something that I'm looking into the beginning of next year, and how I'm going to incorporate that with, just to make sure that when I do record, I'm able to get the best quality out there to make a podcast.
Sure. Yeah, I understand you. You take some time and thought to be sure a quality show comes together. Hey, listen, I got to tell you, speaking of that, I've blown out my promise on the time for the show. If we were broadcast, I'd be fined deeply by the show that follows me. There's no show following us, you guys, except when you see this, if you're seeing this after this is not live anymore, you'll find links in the YouTube and the Facebook postings that lead you to the music, some of the music you heard here, some of the shows we talked about, some of the places we visited. And right now I need to get out and give you guys a last look at the neighborhood live. You actually saw this place. I'm going to try to do this now without getting killed. I'm just going to go do a selfie stand-up. I mean, it's a deserted street, but, there we go. Let me just get on over here, and I'll lead you guys out with a good night from the neighborhood. But yeah, these folks across the street, I think you saw them featured in the backstory video, and they're just helping me to remind you of something. People do well when we're connected, and we have a lot of ways to connect. We can make shows and make music and decorate things and celebrate. And anybody who's watching this now, that's what I want you to do. Whatever your expression of it is, connect with people, unless they're bad people. But there aren't any bad people, right? If we connect and we work together. So, thanks for being part of our celebration this year. There actually are a couple of nights left to see some of the locations. So if you're nearby in Georgetown, or you're nearby here in the Sonoma County, look up the places we went and visit. I bet you Friday night there's still some lights for you to see if you want. Thanks for being here, you guys. I can't wait to see you next year. And that's a wrap.